going?
Oh, can't complain.
Another nice sunny day for you out there.
Beautiful, isn't it?
Every practice you've had has seemed to be sunny and 70.
I think we may have practiced inside more than we have outside all spring.
So, Sean, we talked to players who have changed positions and the difficulties of that, but the coaching side of that, changing positions?
Probably easier than the playing side of it, okay? To be honest with you, no, it hasn't been that big of a change. I approach coaching tight ends as I did coaching quarterbacks, a lot of similarities. Coach running backs before at Troy, a lot of similarities. So I think once you have your coaching style, you just go with it. And that's what I've done. So it's been a pretty easy transition.
Did you have to go out and study? How much have you worked with tight ends? Did you have to go out and do some studying yourself?
I think just, my starting year 23. So I think just over the years, in the game, you gather all the information. I mean, as far as route running, been around wideouts before, so I understand how to run routes. Coaching the running backs at this level at Troy, you understand the run game. So, as far as individual techniques, visited with a couple people via Zoom to get some detailed things on coaching techniques, but that's really about it.
Take a guy like Palende. You're hoping to get a Laughlin back, but he hasn't been able to be out there. But you've had Palende out there all spring. What have you seen from him? What's the growth been since you got him and where he's at right now?
I'm very pleased with Brian. He's got a lot of good football knowledge, which helps. He understands the different fronts, and y'all been out there and seen our defense, so we see plenty of fronts. But he gets it, got really good pad level, really good footwork. He's more of a box player. And he'll tell you that, but we're trying to improve his game on the perimeter a little bit. I think he's come a long way from day one, starting to understand secondary looks and running routes and things like that. So he's getting there, but he's done a really, really good job in the run game. Really good job.
He's played with some really, really good tight ends. Mm-hmm. Mackey Award winner at Colorado, and then two guys at Miami. They're in the NFL right now.
Right. Yeah. He's had a lot of people to learn from. So he's brought that with him. He's a really, really detailed technician. And what I mean by that, like his first two steps in the run game are as good as you can do. But I'm very pleased with where he's come, and he'll help us this fall. Especially when we get Mike O back, like we'll have two really, really good tight ends.
The younger ones, what do you think of them?
Traylon Davis come a long way. Very pleased with understanding where he was last fall and to where he is today. Like he has come a long way, and he'll help us at some point in time in the future, whether it be this fall. If Mike O, however long it takes him to come back, he'll help us early on or whenever that time comes. But Traylon's going to be a good football player. Going down the line, Victor's still learning. He's from Sweden. He's still learning the game. He's come a long way too. He knows what to do. Now he's trying to transition on how to do what to do. And sometimes that takes a little bit longer, but I'm pleased with his progress. Those are the main three that have gotten reps this spring. And then we got a few walk-ons that'll get a few reps out there on Saturday. But between those three, I'm pleased with where they're heading.
We're still learning Graham's offense. Where do H-backs and fullbacks come into this?
Well, so it's funny. We called the tight end position a Y last year, and it's been a long time since I've called them an H. So every now and then I'll slip up and say, "Hey, Y's," but they're not. They're H's. So we've kind of the guys in the room. Instead of being called tight ends, they want to be kind of called hybrids. So it kind of fits a little bit better that way, being that they are H's. So we call them hybrids, but we're slowly transitioning to that. So if y'all hear me holler hybrids out there, you know what I'm talking about now.
And that would include fullbacks if they're used.
Yeah, but really in this offense, there's not a fullback.
Okay.
It's what it is. It's the tight end or the hybrid just going back to a somewhat fullback alignment, but it's all the same position.
Laughlin can't get on the field, but how much do you work with him in a classroom setting?
Yeah, he's in every meeting. He's got his rehab and all that he's doing, and then in the weight room. But he's in every position meeting. He does a great job. He helps out the young guys on the field too when he's able to be around for different team things when they run off the sideline. Usually when we're an individual, he's over with the strength staff trying to get some cardio in. But when he's around, he's done a really good job at helping out. He's learning the new language as well, even though it's a very similar offense. There's some terms that are different. So he's still learning that just like the other guys are, but he's done a great job in the classroom. He's a leader in the room. The other guys know it, so when he speaks, they listen. And but he's been very helpful.
How have the coaches been with the language? I know Neil said that Graham has left something similar in terms of the calls.
Right.
So has it been pretty smooth?
It has. I mean, it really has, because even though something may be called different, like for the guys that have been here, we may say, hey, we're calling this, but it's just like this from last year. So that helps when you're transitioning into a new offense that is very similar, because you can always revert back and say, this is like this. If y'all remember this from last year, we're just calling it this year. So it's been pretty smooth.
Sean, do you learn from your players a little bit? You're fact finding, I guess, on Zoom, and you know a lot about the position, but between Mike and Alendi, it sounds like there's resources in your room.
There are, and we're open dialogue in position meetings. It doesn't matter what I've coached in my career. I'm always open dialogue. You've got a player that's been through it in the thick and thin, and they may say, okay, well, I kind of like doing it this way. Well, yeah, that's fine. The big thing is it's all about the footwork. As far as the technique goes and whatever they're more comfortable with, because some guy may block somebody on a C-gap cutoff just a little bit different than the next guy. It's what they're comfortable with, and as long as they get the job done, like this game isn't hard. Okay, it's our job as coaches to simplify it, and that's all I'm trying to do. I'm trying to help them get the job done to the best of their ability, the easiest way to do it. And if we all coach that way, this game's not hard. Still comes down to blocking, tackling, catching, running, and throwing, and that's it. That's it. And if we, and that's what I try to do. I try to keep that simplicity in my mind and transfer it to them, and make sure they understand the count in the run game. And then here's the footwork. From that point on, what's the best technique for that individual to get that job done? And that's my job.
You take credit for Alendi becoming the catcher now?
So you're calling him a catcher now, huh?
I've heard improving is the word.
Improving is the word. We are working hard at it.
Is it one of those things where maybe he just didn't know that it was there, or just give him opportunities?
And to be honest with you, I don't know what his past was at Colorado or any other place he's been. It's just it's all about hand placement and what we call getting your hands home before the ball arrives. And that's been the emphasis, is to get his hands up ready quicker to receive the ball. Now, he still catches the ball with his body a lot, and that's fine as a tight end on the routes that he's running, but he is trying to work extremely hard on using his hands more in receiving.
I wonder how much he was asked to do with that.
Good question. I have no idea. I mean, I really don't know. Yeah, and looking at it, that would be the easy answer. I mean, he's been on it. He goes, I just hadn't done this very often. I get it. But, in this offense, you got to work at it, because the tight ends do catch the ball in this offense.
Where is he at mentally with that? Is he at the point now where he's confident in his abilities, or
in receiving?
Yeah,
he's getting there. I would say he's more confident today than he was in the winter. A whole lot more confident. He's improved, and making some contested plays in the pass game even allows that confidence to be more. And he's getting better at it every single day. I don't think he's had a drop. I could be wrong. I don't think he's had a drop since practice 4. So that's 10 or 11 practices in a row without a drop. So he's come a long way in that aspect of his game.